Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, from Asus Rogue Summer 2019, it's going to be Awers versus Masa here on Thunderbird, the Ladder Edition. Bottom right-hand corner, it is the blue Terran player Masa, and in the top left-hand corner, it is the red Terran player, it is Awers. All right, also goes by Hades, and he likes playing mech, so we'll see if he goes mech in this TVT. This is a little bit of a little bit more of a suspenseful situation for Awers than he's used to, I think. Yeah, it's a WCS event, and I don't know, just feel like maybe he will not go mech, because mech versus another Terran player isn't very reliable, I feel like. At least according to Ruff, who I follow on Twitter, who goes mech every single game. And he's like, man, they nerfed mech into the ground in all matchups. And I'm like, okay. So we'll see what happens here in this TVT. Masa is just an incredible, incredible harassment style player. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see harassment style out of him today. Would not be surprised. Anyway, thanks again to Sniper Monkey for screening every single one of the Asus Rogue replays for me. He's getting through them and throwing me little batches of you must cast this game replay packs, which again, I really appreciate. Worker Scouting is Masa here. And Double Reaper coming up. Do I have Double Reaper name? I really don't. And we'll see how this works out, man. But this is TVT in a nutshell. You open up Reapers. You try to expand behind it. Both players are expanding behind it. And then your Reapers try to fight each other. If the Reaper dies, problems can abound. Which is why sometimes you want to make a second Reaper as a fallback if your first one goes down. So we'll see. Reaper 1 out. Reaper 2 out. And what are we looking at here? Any follow-up Reapers? Nah. The players feel like 1 is going to be enough for the time being. Double gas opening from Awers, which does indicate he's going to go for that mech. You need a lot of gas for tanks and for cyclones and for all that other stuff you pump out when you're a meching player. Liberators can be in the mix too. And just one gas here from Masa. He is throwing up at the factory though. You definitely are going to try to go at least Marine tank with your bio if you're going bio. It's not like you ignore tanks altogether because, well, tanks are just good units, honestly. You should use tanks in all matchups, to be honest. You don't have to, but you definitely can. So Reaper harassment, not really accomplishing anything. Nobody has any kills. Actually, just kidding. There's a kill on this Reaper. What? Oh, did he actually end up killing the SCV building that command center? That's a huge pickup from Masa. That's a massive pickup. Okay, so it does take him down. Where the heck was Awers' Reaper? I assumed it would have been there to defend, but no, did not actually end up happening. So delays the command center. Masa is way ahead, like super mega ahead in this matchup right now. Marine production has begun. A single cyclone coming up here too from Masa. And then there's the Maru style of Terran, especially in TVT, where it's not really mech and it's not really bio, but it's like it's Marines and it's Marauders and it's tanks and it's Cyclones and it's Hellions and it's Hellbats and it's Medivacs. And I mean, it's just like every unit. Ravens can be in the mix here too. And, you know, a Raven is going to come out because that is fairly standard. Oh, Widowmine takes down Masa's Reaper there. Well played from Awers getting that out. Honestly, well done. Superbly executed. So far, it's just a 1-1-1 build. These players are just making a little bit of everything at this stage, although no starport yet from Masa. He does have a second gas and a second barracks. Okay, yeah, Stim coming in too, so definitely looks like a bio opening from Masa. Awers does have, again, the handful of Marines, but you'll notice he hasn't started Stim. He doesn't have a tech lab on this barrack, so it seems like we're going to try to mech this thing, which mech is slower and harder to get up. It does take some more time, but it hits harder, and in a direct engagement, mech will wreck bio in most situations. So the mech wants to run around, try to kill bases for the other Terran player who's going bio, and bio wants to run around and do the same thing just through virtue of how much faster they are than the mech. So there's your Raven on the way from Awers. Is Masa going to do it? It looks like it, as that's a reactor he's swapping onto, so never mind, can't be a Raven. What's he going to do? Medivacs? Yep. So Medivacs here, no Raven at all. Surprisingly enough, I kind of feel like Awers has a bit of an advantage here, having a Raven. You can go ahead and throw down Interference Matrix on a tank or Interference Matrix on a Medivac and prevent it from healing for a few seconds. Can be a big deal in one of these upcoming battles. It's 37 to 36 workers. Awers is ahead. Bucker coming up for the guy on the low ground there too. And yeah, tank production patrolling back and forth here with a Cyclone is Awers. And now double pumping, I mean, what are you going to do, Awers? It's going to be Vikings? All right, man. So Vikings in play again. Vikings pretty fantastic at sniping medevacs out of the sky, too, with the range that they have. So double medevac drop. This looks like a Zerg build, honestly. Oh, SCV scouting around. Oh, unloading. Just kidding. That is a Viking that killed an SCV that was harassing from Awers, which couldn't quite tell the color on it, but that's what it was. Did kill a couple SCVs and then get picked off in the process. But yeah, it looks like a Terran build here. Double medevac drop at about 5.5 minutes with Stim. As Stim is finishing up. This is going to be pretty damaging unless the Vikings are ready to go, unless the Cyclone is ready to go, and these don't actually unload at all. So tanks setting up, in-house defense setting up, Vikings here too. Does he see this happening? It's not going to be a drop in the main, because he knows there's probably a Cyclone waiting for him, and losing one of the medevacs instantly is bad news. So third base coming up is already done for Masa behind this. Awers doesn't have a third base, and I think Masa was hoping to shut it down. So maybe at this point he's like, you know what? At this point, I think what we're going to do is just maybe sit back and macro up on my 3 bases. Awers doesn't have a third, nor is he making a third base. His production tab is completely bereft of command centers right now. Yeah, I don't know that Masa needs to get anything done, to be honest with you. The Vikings are here. Oh, gosh, coming in. Nope, nope, nope. Medevac down, medevac down. And enough unloading from one of the medevacs to actually take down a supply depot, but that is not as much as he wanted to. Tank firing on that tech lab, 2. Tank firing on the Marines, other Marines firing. Trying to avoid getting hit from the tank on the low ground, but the high ground is taken care of. Tank on the low ground. Fighting in there. Medevac does get killed. Interference matrix on that tank. And he does get wiped out, and the Marine dies too. So third base here for Awers. He did actually have one already done. Boy, am I wrong about that. His third base is done. It's 53 to 53 workers. I think he handled that pretty well. What are we looking at in resources lost here? 2,300 for Masa and 1,400 for Awers right now. Yeah, I would argue that we're looking good for Awers. He's got his third base up. Sure, he lost some SCVs in the process, which is a bit of an annoyance, but otherwise he's okay on worker count. And he took down a bigger section of the army for Masa than he lost. So Awers is up a little bit in army supply. He's got tanks. He's got the Marines. He's continuing to produce tanks and Vikings here. He wants to own the sky, and Masa's just trying to be more nimble, more quick with these double medevac drops. The missile turrets are not quite up yet. Gonna drop in the natural base with the tank firings. Immediate tank firing here. Missile turret trying to come up, not really happening. The repair on the tank, or the tanks firing on each other. Again, the Vikings want to pick up the medevacs. There we go, they're getting one. SCV's getting killed from Awers though. Tank goes down after getting 2 kills. Remaining Marine is destroyed by a tank there too. And the SCVs go back to work. So 8 SCVs go down during that attack. Probably worth for Masa, but again, lost the whole darn thing. Other than, I guess, 1 medevac and a couple Marines. So that was rough stuff from him. Tank count is like how we like to measure this. It is 8-1 tanks in favor of Awers right now. 8 tanks to a single one from Masa. Seems problematic. For the blue Terran player, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he can just be in places where the tanks are not, which is generally how you want to handle this in your TVT. But yeah, Viking count and tank count definitely both favoring Awers right now. Masa is trying to get the drops done, and again, he's killing some SCVs, but he keeps losing his stuff too. There's nothing defending the main base right now. What a beautiful, beautiful drop on in from Masa. Flew right through that sensor tower as well. Is going to kill a ton of SCVs and try to take down the +1 vehicle attack that Awers is working on, and they do manage to snipe down the armory. That's a huge deal. Again, interference matrix on that tank, but the army that's responding here is maybe not ready to go. 11 SCVs go down. What an absolutely aggressive opening here from Masa. Tank, 3 kills to its name, does get taken down. Vikings landed, do bonus damage to mechanical, which can be good in desperate situations like that where you want to kill a tank. That bonus damage is just a godsend for Awers. So 82 workers for Masa. He's got a 4th base down and saturated. Only 58 for Awers. He's lost how many SCVs, guys? 23. 23 to 3 is not a good number at all. Trying to drop into the natural base. Guess what? Nope, there's turrets and an army waiting for you. So didn't lose medevacs there, but again, didn't really get much done either. That's okay. Masa is trying to keep Awers down. Keep him down, because this is mech. This is Viking, and this is tank, and this is Liberator, and this is Blue Flame, and everything else that you do when you are a mech player. The Blue Flame Hellions running around. Might get caught out here by this Marine Marauder group. Run! You don't want to engage with this, and they do manage to escape just by the hair of their chinny chin chin. Masa just trying to make sure a 4th base doesn't come up, I guess, at this point. He's like, I'm on 4 bases. Awers is on 3 bases. Concussive Shell's wrapping up for Masa, too. I think he could have killed a couple more of those Hellions if he'd been able to slow them down as they were running away. But yeah, Thor is here on the way from Awers. So, I mean, yeah, he went mech in the TVT. Masa had to expect, had to know what was coming for him here. Hellions do get a blue. Is that a blue flame run by? That is not. It's a regular flame run by. Killing 5 SCVs, maybe 6 with the friendly fire there. Friendly fire doesn't count in the workers lost tab. So still 80 to 62 workers though in favor of Masa. He just economically he is kicking butt and taking names here. But again, you can do this against mech. Mech takes a while to get big enough to start pushing out and start ruining your day. Vikings sniping off the medevacs. That means your mobility is greatly reduced. Tanks setting up, wrecking all of that bile. They want to take a couple tanks out first, though, and they do. Okay, it's about making trades. It's just like Protoss in a PvT and Brood War, is you want to trade out the tanks as best as you can. Vikings trying to kite back and back, taking out those medevacs. Again, the medevacs mean the mobility of this is so much worse. Oh, sniping down a Thor and getting a couple free tanks back here, too. Masa! Oh, I knew this little group back here would be problematic. A couple free Hellbats, too. Why not? Why not stim up and get rid of a tank? Oh, my gosh. This is getting so much work done. That Marauder has 2 kills. That Marauder has 2 kills. That Marine has 0 kills because he's a slacker. And eventually, I was going to say eventually these are going to die. But no, because Blue Flame Hellions are really bad against Marauders. Okay, there we go. We got him. We got him. Army supply 89 to 58. I mean, this is just Masa crushing house right now. 3-3 on the way from him. Sure, the Vikings are sniping medevacs all the livelong day, which is really annoying for Masa, but he's got another base on the right side. He's throwing up another command center. He's just playing Terran like Terran likes to be played. Oh, full medevac down? Another medevac down. Are there enough Marauders in here to take... Wow. Enough Marines in here to keep these Vikings away? I don't know. Yeah, a couple SCVs go down. Masa pushing up with another group. The tanks do set up to cover the ramp, though. Nicely done by them. Good positioning for sure. TVT is really so much about positioning as well. And he does end up saving the refinery, assuming he can repair it, which he's not going to. And it does explode anyway. So only 3 SCVs go down there, but still way down in worker supply. The harassment from Masa has been insane. He's got a base up top here, too. Awers has not been able to move across the map under any circumstances. He's gotten to this point. I don't think that's even halfway, and then he's had to turn around and go home because Masa has just been backdooring him so consistently here. He's been dropped in the main. He's been dropped in the third. He's been dropped in the natural. Sure, the tank count is enough, but Masa, again, is being where the tanks are not, finding areas to attack where he doesn't have to drop into tank fire. Another drop trying to come into the natural base. No, the Vikings were ready for that. Once again, Blue Flame Hellions deciding we're going to attack into Marauders is really bad. Also, transferring down is not good either. What is this? Liberator does show up at the 4th base of Masa. Gets some SCVs and then gets picked out of the sky by these 2-2 Marines. Yeah, the tanks continuing to get destroyed here. 16 tanks have died for Awers. Is that 16 really? Holy crap, 16. 16 is insane. Oh, more Blue Flame Hellions trying to come out and get something done. These are not planetary fortresses, which is greedy. It's really helped Masa get up to this economy he's at, but not as good at defending against Hellion harass as a planetary fortress would be. A couple more SCVs going down. Some blue flare. There we go. That planetary fortress is what I'm talking about. The extra damage does take care of those Hellions quite nicely. Dropped in the main. Again, flying through the sensor tower, but Awers is just not in position to handle it at all. So many SCVs getting killed. The main orbital command is going to die. Dropping in the 3rd base and hoping that Awers tries to respond to it in the main, and that's your good game. Masa is your winner there in 14.5 minutes. Woo! That was a really intense, really harassy TVT out of Masa. End of the game, 14,000 resources lost for Masa, 16,000 for Awers. And look at this just list of stuff that died from Awers. 17 tanks. His single Thor that he ever made died. 7 Hellbats, 7 Vikings, 1 base. Couple missile turrets in there too. And it was just Marine Marauder tank. A little bit of Liberator and Cyclone at the beginning there, but really, Marine Marauder tank was the answer of the day. 17 of his medevacs died, but I don't know how much he cared. He had 6 at the end of the game. He was replacing them as fast as they were dying. And then just dropping, man. Just absolutely picking Awers to pieces and picking him apart in a way that, I don't know, have I ever seen this level of harassment in a TVT before? Don't know. Don't know, man. All right, well, cool stuff. That's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a mirror matchup. For those of you who are into that sort of thing, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. Also a Discord link in the description. All that's at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.